basically, I passed out in 2020 from Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, in chemical engineering. Right, it was a COVID period. I got placed into one of the MNC, like it was called Floor Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the last time, after graduation of 6 to 7 months, they canceled my uh, placement offer due to cancellation of their COVID projects. So it was a very tough time. I couldn't find job offers because I was fresher and I did not have much contacts in industry. Right. At that time, I contacted you and asked you about what should be my path uh, moving away forward. Right. So there was two things in my mind at that time. One was to directly apply to US schools for my graduate study because I always wanted to do that from my second or third year onwards.
Mm-hmm.
But my GPA was on lower side, so
Mm-hmm.
you suggested to go for GATE, study for GATE, go to what you call IITs, and post that you can build your profile and then apply to grad school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I exactly follow your suggestion. I studied for GATE and crack with flying colors, and I'm happy to say that I was able to get offer from one of all the top institutes like IISc and IIT Bombay.
That's good.
And also got one offer from this PSU as well, because I was able to crack their exam also. But what happened? Second wave of COVID came just after GATE exam. So all of these top institute has clearly said in their offer letter that they will continue with offline mode, right?
Right,
Sorry,
right,
online mode. So my only intent to go for MTech is to build my research profile, right?
right.
I was not able. I would not have able to build my profile while sitting at home. I
Right.
don't want to do that at
Mm-hmm.
that time because I already have studied their coursework and I was gone through their coursework, and I thought it would not give me some advantage over those people. So I
So
took
you joined
decision.
PSU.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Got it.
mm, another factor was also a financial point of view because TSU is much better in terms of financial stability and
Right, right.
job in India, and it pays you handsomely at the starting.
Okay. So
So
so you are working there right now, and looks like you have applied to some universities now. So
yeah,
now
yeah,
you're planning to go for a higher studies, correct?
yeah. So what happened after working 1 year of working, I realized that I was doing much of a operations kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
I was on more on the operation side of chemical engineering, right? I was handling existing manufacturing process and troubleshooting and all of
Okay.
these
No,
things.
that's fine.
So I applied to 7 to 8 grad school based on my profile, and till now I got two accepts and one reject. Right,
Okay.
I'm still waiting for some more.
Okay.
Actually, based on my profile, and what I have
So
studied,
you have applied for a
yeah,
PhD program?
yeah. I applied only for PhD program,
So you
and
you have a you already have a master's or no?
no. I just had bachelor's,
Okay.
and actually, most we have a unofficial group of students who every year we apply to US grad school, and we have an unofficial system at my alma mater college. So what we have is
And
uh,
just to remind you, what college you are
mhm,
from? You are undergrad?
UD City Mumbai.
Oh, UTC. Yeah, it's a good college. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So let me
So
ask you. Yeah,
mhm.
I think I understood. So, the admissions you have got from the universities, you have a scholarship or not yet?
Yeah, full
For a
scholarship.
scholarship, okay. Okay, let's come to the actual problem then. What's your dilemma here? Let's talk about that now.
Yeah,
So it looks like you
yeah.
have done
Sir,
good. Everything is going good. So let's talk about the actual focus on that now. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
okay. My main question is that, see, I have applied based on the basis of my profile, right? My GP was on lesser side, so I
That's
did
fine.
not apply to a high ranking school, right? Like those Harvard and
Right,
Caltech,
right.
all this thing.
Mhm.
I applied to the grad school like CUNY, Auburn University, like Michigan State, and then Rutgers and
I
Pittsburgh,
mean, they are good school too.
Rutgers.
I mean, they are good
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So till now, I got admit from CUNY and Auburn University, right?
Okay, got it.
And I'm still waiting from MSU. I'm still hoping for that
Mhm.
admit, because based on my profile and my data from my seniors, I should able to get that, but it's always uncertainty, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. No, no, that's
So,
fine.
but the main point is how.
Go ahead.
Also, the the admit that I have from the people from those universities have contacted me, and they are mm, telling me about their schools and pros, like
Yeah,
kind
go
of
ahead.
advertising
Mhm.
there. But
Mhm.
I'm in dilemma how to choose a particular university on the basis of my further future goals.
Okay.
Right? I don't want.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So,
want to
so
go.
yeah, yeah. So I think I understood your point here. I think first of all, congratulations for
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
admission and a scholarship. I mean, not everyone gets that, so you have to be
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to feel proud for that. So um let me ask you, what would be the university that you look for, that no matter what you will go if you get the admission based on you have applied? Is it MSU or something else?
No, I did not understand.
No, what I'm
Actually,
saying is,
can you please
based on the all the universities that you applied,
uh-huh.
what is the one of the best universities that you want to go no matter what?
Okay. It's actually MSU or
Uh-huh.
CUNY.
Okay.
So actually, I already got from CUNY
Okay.
because
Is it
one of the
Tulane or
main
Tuning?
CUNY, City University of New York.
What,
It's
say
in New
again?
York,
New York.
City
Okay.
University of New York.
Okay.
Huh.
City. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. So
So
okay. So I understood now. Okay. So let me tell you how. Let's talk about how a student should choose a university.
yeah.
I think that's the question here, right? How would
Right,
you?
right, right.
So I will tell you based on my experience, what
Uh-huh.
should be the criteria. Okay, so that might help you. So let's talk
Right.
about that a little bit more detail now. So
Uh-huh.
number one, the so let me so here's the another thing. In US, unlike in India,
Mhm.
most of the universities, I would say almost all of them, once you graduate, the bias to get into a job, I'm talking about industry job. Okay. Get into
Right, right,
industry job.
right,
So, like for example, if you graduate from IIT, you are preferred, you get more salary.
right,
That it
right,
doesn't happen in US.
right, right,
It doesn't happen in US.
right.
It's not like you are preferred based on because you graduated from there and you get more salary. That's not the case
Mm-hmm.
usually.
Right.
Unlike in India. Okay.
Pedigree matters much more.
Yeah, no, no. So what matters is, that's why I'm coming to the point. So what
Okay.
should matter then, right? So definitely if you
Mm-hmm.
get into MITs and Harvards and Stanfords,
Right.
it's
Mm-hmm.
always good, no doubt,
Right.
hands down, right? But I did not go to that school. I don't graduate for them. I think I'm doing fairly well. And that's the
Right.
reason I say so. So it all gonna depend on you,
Mm-hmm.
short term or a long term. So for example, I say always go to the school where the professor, because what happens is when you're doing PhD, unlike masters or
Mm-hmm.
undergrad, where you have no idea who professor is, you work with a professor and you leave. Professor becomes your family.
Right.
So it is extremely important, and I would say even in India too, it is extremely important one for a PhD student to choose an advisor who is, I would say, extremely helpful, who
Right.
is who is emotionally very stable.
Mm-hmm.
When I say
Right.
emotionally very stable, I mean that professor understands what to say, what to talk, when to talk. He's a very
Mm-hmm.
good guide. He's a very good guide. And also he has to be a very good leader. He is
Right. Right.
something who should inspire you. You understand my point?
Right,
So
right, right. I
my
understand
my
that.
my point here is what I'm getting into. Let's say you go to an MIT and your advisor is one of those horrible advisors. Let me put it this way. And you go to a other university, which is a not MIT, but a lower ranking university,
Mm-hmm.
let's say MSU, and your advisor is one of the best advisors. I
Right.
would hands down go to the guy who is one of the best advisors because
Right.
the advisor can make your life miserable.
Mm.
So be aware of that. You don't want to go just because it is the best university and the advisor is horrible. Usually you won't find that, but it happens. So be careful. And that advisor and the reason why I say so to you is because when you are starting your career, maybe you want to
Mm.
go to academics, you want to go to industry, that advisor is can break or make you, because you will
Mm.
need that person's recommendations, you need that person's advice, you need that person's network, everything you will need. You will need his or her help more than anything, more than your dad actually.
Right,
Actually,
right.
your family won't be doing that. Person becomes your, I would say, what should I say, a career family, his network. So let's say, for example, if there is a professor in let me talk about these two universities, A and B,
All
right?
right.
Tulane and this one.
Mhm.
Research about what the professor is, research
Mm.
about where his or her students are, research about how big the group is, research about how much work this professor publish, research about how much passionate this professor is. Talk to the students who are not with him right now, because they are not
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
say, the students who are graduated, if you get a chance, like, can you tell me about your advisor, what you have gone through, what you felt?
Right, right.
That type of research should be done by you
Mhm. Right,
more than anything,
right.
right? That's number one.
So,
Okay, that's number one.
right.
Let's finish. Number two is your interest. So let's say, for example, there is a, I mean, by now, let's say, for example, if let's say you have no clue what research is,
Mm.
then probably this doesn't matter. But I think at this point of time, people by now they know what they like.
Mhm.
Let's say, for
Right.
example, what's your background? Is mechanical materials,
It's chemical.
chemical? Let's say, okay.
Right,
So you're talking about chemical. Let's say you are interested in um, electrochemistry of batteries.
right, right.
Let's say, and that's one topic, and the second topic is you are interested in the corrosion properties of materials,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? Both are chemical based processes.
Mm-hmm.
So you by now you should know, by now you
Right,
should know what your interests are.
right.
And then the question comes, how do you know what interest is? So there is two things, right? One is
Mm.
interest, one is the work which is futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say
Right, right.
you're very interested in doing um, research in developing steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then other topic is making batteries, next generation batteries,
Mm.
right? So my
Right,
point here is
right,
your interest should also align with what the future is.
right, right,
Okay. So be careful about that.
right. Uh,
Your work,
so,
as I said, the second point what I'm trying to make is your work mm, that you're doing has to be
mhm.
something that holds the future. So let's say if there's a professor A who is working in a topic which is nobody cares anymore, versus a professor who is working on a topic who is futuristic. You may not like it,
Mm.
but that's what you have to do. That's what you should do.
Right.
So that's the point number two. Okay, that's point number two. And I guess third point would be you should also think about once you graduate what you would like to do, right?
Right.
So let's say many, like for example, when I went to a PhD program, I always want to become a professor.
Right.
I always wanted.
Mm.
And the question comes, then why, what happened, why I was not able to do that? One of the
Mm.
biggest reason because I was not able to do that because I didn't graduate from MITs and Harvards.
Mm. right.
One of the biggest
Understood.
reasons, not
Right,
all,
right,
not all the reasons, but one of the biggest reasons. So
right.
what I'm trying to tell you is, if you are very, very strongly inclined that you want to go to academics
Hmm.
and not an industry job, and you're
Hmm.
very sure about that, then
Hmm.
choose top schools.
Right.
That is the must.
Hmm.
So for example, a person who is graduating from MIT will, for him or her, it's much easier to get into academics,
Right,
become a professor, versus somebody who graduates from a university which is not a top university. So remember that.
right.
And then, as I said to you,
Hmm.
then how you choose the school, take the average of all these three: top school, best professor, best topic,
Right,
and make the best out of it. End of the
right.
story.
So the main dilemma over here is because the admit I got, the universities uh, from where I got admit have similar ranking. Uh, have
So,
all of
so
these have similar ranking, right?
yeah,
And
I mean,
all of
that's what I'm saying. How you choose? You
right,
make three columns. You said, okay,
right,
top university ranking, professor ranking based on how good the professor is and all that, and then your topic, and give weightage. You said, okay, I'm gonna give weightage to this as zero point
right,
0.5, this as 0.3, this as 0.2, and say, okay, then how much this, both are zero point 0.5, zero point 0.5.
right,
Topic,
right,
point, maybe zero point 0.1, zero point 0.1, maybe 0.2, 0.2. So, and then add up and see what's the number
right,
is.
right.
You will have no difficulty.
See, what my thought process was, the City University of New York has relatively much smaller department as compared to Michigan State, right? And uh, it
I
has
think sometimes, I mean, smaller department is a good thing. I mean, look at Caltech,
okay,
small school.
right.
See, what one thing I have realized: if you go to a big school, there are
Mhm.
not many things you can do. You are one of those 200 Indian students who are studying there. But if you go to a small school and it's a good school, then you will be one
Mhm.
of them.
Right, right.
Remember, there is a saying that you want to be
Mhm.
a big fish in a small pond,
Right.
right? So there is a reason. I mean, you want to make sure you don't have an identity crisis once you go there.
Mhm.
Because if
Right,
you
right,
if
right.
you go to a small school, as I said to you, I don't think that should be the criteria. Small school versus big
Okay,
school. I
okay,
think the
okay.
criteria should be which is a
Mhm.
better school,
Right.
which offers a better program, which
Right,
offers a better better environment.
right.
So for example, many times people go to a school which is in the middle of nowhere, they get
Right, right.
homesick. But sometimes people go to a school who is in the middle of some big cities. Like for example, I went to a school, and when I did my PhD, which is in Baltimore, and it was so much fun because the Washington DC was 45 minutes,
Mhm.
New York was 2 hour, three
Mhm.
hours, and then Baltimore was a big city. So there's so much to do. I mean, that's what I'm saying is you're gonna stay there for 5 years. It's not easy. You want to be at a place where you're gonna enjoy too. I mean, it's not
Right, right,
about study all the time.
right. So, see,
So
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm more bullish on going to industry after my 5 years. Right now, I haven't decided yet, but
I
in
mean, if
worst
you go
case,
to if you want to go to industry, then the school ranking doesn't matter that much. And if you ask me, no, it doesn't. It's not like I mean, sometimes university they have a preferred
Mhm.
school, but to be honest with you, if you ask me, um, if you are so inclined, if you are sure that you want to go to industry, then ranking as such does not matter that much. So don't put too
Right,
much
right.
weightage on that than what ranking give weightage on what topic is, because topic has to be
Right.
very important. I'm telling you, if you are
Mhm.
working on a topic which is future, you will be one of the
Mhm.
sorted out person. Trust me. For I mean, if you go to good school, as I told you, and you are working on
Mhm.
some topic which has no value,
Right,
you will not gain anything.
right,
I
right.
mean, I have learned that in a very hard way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I know people who have worked in a topic which is so current and so futuristic,
Mhm.
they are that's become their asset. And I will tell you
Uh,
one of my
and
example. I will tell you one example. So when I one of my job when I was working at Oak Ridge National Lab, I had three jobs. One job was an industry which was working on fuel cells.
Mhm.
Okay. The
Right.
second company was working, so that was Rolls-Royce, and the second company was Bose, which make these speakers, and the
Right.
third company was Alcoa, which make aluminum.
Right.
So, and Alcoa is a very big company.
Right.
If you ask, and this fuel cell company, although it was Rolls-Royce, but it was a startup from a Rolls-Royce, and
Right.
when I went to interview from them, the manager told me, I don't know what the future of mine is, because you always are dependent on companies' money, because you are developing a product. There's no product. Alcoa is a much stable
Right.
company, people working there for 20-30 years. But then my thought process was that fuel cell is future, and I took that risk.
Okay. Right. Right.
And by taking that risk, after 6 years everybody got laid off because there was no money, and that product was not going anywhere. But that was not the point, because what I learned from those 6 years, that's where I am what I am.
Right. Right. Learning matters much more.
What you are doing matters more, because you have more
Right.
value now. Because I knew at the time, if I'm gonna work for Alcoa, it will be such a boring job. And not only
Mm.
boring job, what I'm gonna create, I mean, people have been making aluminum since, I don't know, 1800s.
Right. Right. It's a traditional industry. We are going for years.
Exactly. So remember that. Remember that risk is where the reward is. You should be smart enough to make that decision. And I'm not telling you because this is just my example, because I know what happened, but I can tell you so many examples. People
So,
in 10 years back who work in the area of batteries are at the top of any companies. At the time, they
right.
had
Right.
so
Right.
much
Right.
risk.
So here's come the one doubts I have, because PhD is a long journey, right? It's about almost 4 and 5 years, right? So how to predict those topics current in the future, right? I know that the current market is for EVs and battery technologies
I mean,
and
that's what the, I
or
mean,
biotech
if you're
industry.
working in any areas that is related to energy,
Hmm.
that has to do with space, that has to
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
with security, that has to do with computers,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
have to do with
Hmm.
biotechnology. I mean, that's as
Right.
simple as that.
Okay. Okay.
That has
Okay.
to do with anything which has to do with so for example, a lot of chemical processes are, let's say, are driven by people, right? People work there, you mix
Right.
something, right?
Right. Right.
I mean, can you
Right.
do
Right.
computerize that? A lot of
Hmm.
things are nowadays happening because of AI and machine learning and all those. They,
Right. Right.
I mean,
GPT.
I which I don't like. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I
Right.
think those things
Mhm.
ruin your mind in a many ways. You need to still
Mhm.
learn the basics. But what
Mhm.
I'm trying to tell you is that's what the future is going to lie. You don't want your job to be obsolete.
Right, right.
So the any job that has a critical thinking process, because
Mhm.
machines still cannot do those. The critical thinking you have to do. You can
Right.
tell machine then do the boring jobs, right?
Mhm.
But the critical thinking part of it, where human brain is can surpass anything, is the key. So
Right,
remember that, as I said to you, just, I mean, you read about it, what the world is going to be next,
right, 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 right.
right? I mean, I mean, look at where the transportation is going to go.
Right.
What the new next generation
Mhm.
transportation, people are not going to
Right,
drive
right,
cars, they're going to be autonomous cars. What that need? People not going to everybody's looking for new source of energy.
right. Green hydrogen, all those kind of things.
What, anything, hydrogen,
Anything, right?
fusion process, I mean,
Right.
you name it. I mean, people are looking at different ways to
Mhm.
put these systems together to create new ideas. I mean,
Right, right,
I mean, that's the great thing about this generation now.
right.
And the top of it, I would say when I say AI, machine learning, and all that, I say that with a pinch of salt. Is all these are
Mhm.
tools. Like
Right,
computer
right,
is
right,
a
definitely.
tool.
Right,
Don't say I'm doing using this AI. That's so stupid. Use that as a tool. That is not the
right,
brain. Brain is yours.
right, right, right. And it can never replace the human consciousness,
I mean, who knows?
right?
I mean, people say that they can replace too, but what I'm saying you is the critical thinking can never be replaced
Right, right, definitely.
because it is still a person who is
Completely agree.
telling the machine to do this and do that in training it.
Uh,
The critical thinking. I mean, Chat GPT can write a poem,
Right.
but if you ask me that can it replace Jagjit Singh or can it replace Picasso or anybody and Beethoven?
Definitely
It
not.
would be difficult.
Right,
because
definitely.
because and you can do that exercise in your on your brain. I mean, just say Chat GPT, write a poem, write a romantic poem, right? And then just leave it aside. And if you have that artistic brain, if you have that thinking process, just sit aside in a cool mind and write. Look at the difference.
Right, definitely.
Because that new part, because the machine is using the old data to churn up new these
Right,
things,
right, right,
right? And they're very good at it, no doubt. I mean, they're excellent. but
right, right,
but I think where the future is you don't have to do a boring work now. They can do it.
right, right,
You have to invest your time in doing something new, create something new.
right,
You
right,
don't have to worry about now 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. That those
right,
days
right,
are gone. You
right,
have
right,
to figure it out now what the new thing would be.
right, right. And so, right, it was happening much earlier, right? When internet was came, people used to say that it will, you know,
I mean,
change.
yeah,
It's a
I mean,
transitions
if you
always
look at,
happening.
yeah, I mean, if you look at the history, right? The
Right,
history
right,
of technology, if I have to say,
right, right,
just imagine the first time when Wright brothers invented airplane.
right. Plain.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think that people thought, oh my goodness?
Yes, yes.
I mean,
Definitely,
this
yes.
is so if as far as
Completely
if
agree.
you, yeah, exactly. So I don't think, I mean, first time when dynamite was invented, I mean, just
Right, right,
imagine what would have been like. You can kill so many people now. You don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to you don't have to run by swords and things. I mean, just imagine, right?
Right,
So
right,
I think these type of inventions and things happen, but a human brain has always surpassed. Always.
right, right.
I mean, 1 year back, if I would have asked someone what you use to search, everybody would have said Google, Google, Google. But now everybody, just 1 year, now everybody is saying,
Yes, yes.
I use Chat GPT to do this or do that.
Mhm.
That's so
Right, right,
amazing. I mean,
right.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, who knows next year what comes? When I was in school, I remember we went to ISC, and that was the first time
Mm-hmm.
when we were doing internship at ISC
Mm-hmm.
Bengal. The professor they were doing, he said, "Do you know you can search your name. There's a website this called Google." I
Right.
remember that so much. I remembered it so clearly that there's a website you can search your name, and we all first time searched our name, and something came up, and like we were so excited. Oh, my name is there. But my point here is these things, they come, they go. That's how I have seen it. If you look at warfare, right? People used to fight by swords, then came tanks, then came airplanes. Now people just sit at home and send drones and they fight.
Right,
So
right,
the
right.
whole idea of
Uh-huh.
thinking I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna make a body muscle, that gone. It's all
Right,
about,
right.
right. So
Human.
so just that's what I'm trying to tell you is the critical thinking. If you can think critically, that's
Right.
that's what the key is. If you can be the next person who can make the next Chat GPT.
Mm.
I mean, somebody has to come. Somebody
Yeah,
came
yeah,
with
yeah.
that idea,
Somebody
right,
else.
or something.
Right.
So that's what it is. So always remember the next thing that you're doing, the innovation that you're doing, the new thing that you're doing. It is the key.
Uh, so going forward, see, I have almost 5 to 6 months to join the current program, right? So how can I utilize this time to,
No, don't
or
utilize.
I
Just
just
have fun. Just have fun.
okay,
You have done already your part. I mean, let me tell you, if you're not gonna have fun right now, you're gonna lose a lot. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, eat good food and all that, because here there will be no good food. You will be cleaning dishes, you will be
Mhm.
working hard, you will have no time to talk to your parents, you will miss them. So why you want to do anything? Just spend, do what you are, it's not available here. I wish somebody would have told me that. All I was doing is, oh, just like you, oh, what can I do? Then what happened? I lost so many things that I would wish I would have, because after that there is no time, or you
Right,
are in a rat race and you run like a crazy. So don't say I want to do this. You have already done that. Your admission is secure, your job is secure. Just apply for visa and just wait and have as much fun as you can. Throw books out. That's my advice. Throw books out. Learn how to cook good food. Learn how to
definitely.
how to how to enjoy with people that you are there. If you have a grandparents, enjoy time with them.
Mm.
If you have your parents, enjoy time with your mom and
Right,
dad and
right,
your sister and your friends, and go
right, right.
and roam around India. Just take a 1 month vacation.
Mm.
Just if I was you, I will quit PSU and I'm gonna go for a 2 months vacation and just go around India, just travel.
Right, right. To explore.
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
for anyone to say like that, that's stupid.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just throw books. Don't, you have already gone through hardship. You have done your job and you have came out as flying colors. Now is the time for you to enjoy, because after then it's a hard work.
Mm. Right.
Your professor is not going to give you time saying, hey, go to India for a month. Nobody does that. Trust me. So, and you will be like,
Right,
what the hell? They are not going to give you time. They're going to like,
right, right.
you're going to go for 2 weeks and come back.
Right, right.
So that's what I'm saying. Spend time with your family.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
just stay with them. Travel with your parents. Do whatever you can. Gonna make you enjoy. Make memories, because once you come here, you will be on a ride. And if you
Right.
don't know how to cook food, I will strongly advise you to cook food,
I'm
because
learning now. I'm learning now, but I'm
no,
not
no, you
cooking.
have to, because there isn't
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
otherwise you will be hungry. Can you eat bread for 5 years?
No, not at
Exactly.
all.
And nobody's gonna cook food for you here.
Right,
Every
right, right.
you will be with friends or your club batchmate, and everybody's like, Monday you need to cook, Tuesday you need to
Mm,
cook,
right, right.
and make sure you know how to clean dishes.
Mm,
Yeah, that's how the
definitely,
life is.
definitely.
Yeah.
This soft skill, I don't know, but these other skills matters much more,
Of
right?
course. I mean, that's
Cooking.
what I'm saying is, like, I had a friend who used to. I mean, the thing is that because as a student, you don't make too much money that you can eat outside every
Right,
day, and you
right.
cannot eat outside every day. That doesn't matter, because that's not healthy, right?
Right, right. Even in India, if you have
Yeah,
money,
that's what I'm saying. You
it's
can't
not
eat
possible,
outside.
right?
Exactly. Even if you ask someone in India like to send you tiffin after 1 month, you get bored, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that's what I'm saying is this is so important that you should know how to cook good food, because
Right,
if you're gonna cook food, you will have a better health. You can have a better brain, and everybody should know how to cook food. That's the only difference between us and animals.
right, right, right.
Animals can make a
Yeah,
house, actually. Birds can make
right,
nest,
right.
but
Goodness,
nobody
but they
cooks
don't
food
know how
except
to, right?
human, right? So know how to cook food. And then, as I said to you, just do everything that is required here, other than studies, because you will do that anyway. And then make sure that you are spending time with your, just don't throw
Family, right,
books, just throw out books. Yep.
right, right,
Enjoy these 5 months for you to enjoy your life now,
right, right, right.
because after then you will have a real good time otherwise.
I
Anyway.
understand. Right, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
What?
Thank you so much for
No,
your
no problem, no problem.
experience and your for advice. It's always, I'm really grateful that actually, I always wanted to have a third party view, right? Because you are sitting in US, you have great view on reality, right? And we are sitting in India. We know from the other point of view, right? So it was
No,
great
I
to
mean,
hear from
that's
you.
I always do that too. I mean, when the day I learned that that is so important, and the reason is very simple, because you want to avoid failures. See, there are
Right,
only two ways to learn. One is
right,
to do and fail, 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 and learn.
right, right,
The other two, ask someone whom you can trust and who is experienced, and take that as
Definitely.
advice, because then your journey, your failures will be less, and then your that time is shortened, and you will have
Right.
better success. So
Right. Right.
that's the whole idea. And I think because of we have platforms now, Zoom and all that,
Mhm.
and LinkedIn and all that, and there are so many people who are willing to help. Reach out. I mean, I'm glad the people like you who reach out. That's so good,
Mhm.
because there are people who just sit around and say, "What should I do?" They one thing you do is talk. Always
Right. Right.
have
Right.
a. I will give you one advice always. Find someone
Mhm.
whom you can trust, whom
Mhm.
you think can be your mentor, because that
Mhm.
person and his
Right.
or her advice will help you so much you have no idea
Right. Right.
in making better decisions. I mean, decisions are
Definitely.
yours always. Nobody's
Right.
imposing
Right.
on
Right.
you,
Right. Right.
but that will help you to make better decision, and that's very
Definitely.
important.
That's completely agree, sir. Because the one thing that helped me came out of depression is to
Exactly.
talk
Yeah,
to someone
yeah,
who
yeah.
I can trust, and I'm really glad that I have mentors like you who I can trust and always guided me, right?
Right.
So it always helps. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Completely
No,
agree.
no, that's all. And then when you come here, just shoot me an email, and I think everything is fine. Enjoy, have fun.
Right.
I wish I was at your position. I would have so much fun. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yep. I think everything is going fine with you. I mean, that's the amazing story that you have came with. You fought hard, and that's what life is all about. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
trust me, it will happen again. So be
Right.
prepared.
Right. Right. Right.
Failures are the story of life, and that's a good thing, because you fail, you learn, you
Yeah.
succeed. That's gonna give you more confidence on you. That's how you
Right.
develop confidence, because then you're
Right.
not afraid of failures. People who have never seen failures in their life, they are the one who are very scared, and they are the
Right.
one who are doomed to fail. But if you have failed
Mhm.
and came out, that's more
Right.
important, and
Right.
came
Right.
out from that
Right.
hump,
Right.
and failed and came out from the hump, then you're not
Right.
scared. You're like, bring it on.
Right, sir. Because my first job loss happened right after my just graduation, undergraduation, right? So it gave me a lot of new perspective
Yep.
and new learning that
Yep.
uh, it's completely changed
Yeah.
my view, right?
It was nice talking to you. I
Yes, sir.
have to
Definitely,
go
definitely.
also for
Right, right,
another
right.
meeting,
I can
but
understand. Yes, sir.
keep in touch. And when you come here,
Right.
just shoot an email, okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank
No
you so much, sir.
problem. Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
bye.
Bye.